A lot has been said and written about the Holocaust symbols and the icons of memory. Everyone is familiar with the iconic images that symbolize the Holocaust. And Frank, for example, everybody knows the yellow stars of David and the Arbeit macht frei gates over Auschwitz, the entrance to Auschwitz concentration camp, are things that are etched in people's mind. And the historical and cultural context of symbols commonly associated with the Holocaust and the way in which the variety of iconic images, including personalities, artifacts, and texts, visuals convey awareness of an association with the Holocaust. It has been an inspiration, though, also for our next guest. Karen Gillerman succeeded in her photograph Past and Future in Our Hands to bridge the past with the future in an extraordinary blend of sensitivity and symbolism through the arms of Polish-born Auschwitz survivor Dora Dreiblatt, born in 1922, and her great-granddaughter Daniela Hartzvi, born in 2007 in Israel. We are joined in studio by Karen. I'm very, very happy to have you here. And before we delve in how you came about to, create this project, explain to me what the project itself is, first of all.
Hello.
Good morning.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
The project began when I was actually offered to take part in a competition for Israel's 60th Independence Day, while 60 photographers were offered to take the flag of Israel and give it some kind of symbolic expression.
Right.
I knew at that moment that this is my opportunity to bridge the generations of the Holocaust survivors and the future generations. So I took the arm of Dora Dreiblatt, who is actually grandmother of my best childhood friend, Yael, and I took the arm of the newborn baby, Daniela, and put them on the flag, and it won the competition.
No, I want us to put this picture up again for a minute and stay on it. If we can stay on that picture, it's a very iconic picture. If we can see that picture again, there we go. If we can see that picture again, that's an iconic picture of the number, for viewers from overseas, that you can be seeing it also in the, you can be seeing it in front of you, the tiny hand of the baby. And I think it encompasses, first of all, when you did this, how did you come about with this? How did you dream up this picture?
I actually had this vision for a long time. Since I knew Yael from the age of 4 and I knew her grandmother,
right.
I knew I wanted to document and cherish and show actually this grandmother as a survivor. Not necessarily as a victim, but as a survivor that created 4 generations.
Created more life.
Created more life. I don't think that Dora, at the terrible times when she experienced the concentration camps, if she was told that she will get to the age of 87 with 4 great-grandchildren, she wouldn't believe it at the time.
Right.
And I wanted to cherish this moment and to show the future generations, bridge the generations. I was very happy that it received such a recognition and awareness. It became a stamp by the Israel Post and a poster by the State of Israel.
And have you taken that, and you've taken that work onwards to try and maintain, other representations, I'm trying to think, of keeping the Holocaust alive? Such as, in what way?
Yes, all the time. Actually, this specific photograph is in very important collections. It is in the Tel Aviv Museum. Mm-hmm. It's at Yad Vashem, at the President. And I keep on working on new ideas using this symbolic, historical. I'm very proud I managed to
and it's a valid point, and I'm thinking, and I'm glad also Ido is still with us in studio, because you deal with, maybe how people confront or remember things online in this day and age. And that's first a question to you, Karen, because the iconography of memory. And there's always a danger that people, maybe not the Jews living in Israel, because it's so etched in the education, the memory of the Holocaust, but the people around the world become, and there's no other way of putting it, slightly tired of the images that they know, such as the little kid holding his hands up that we all know, such as, and what I'm trying to think is, how do we, as be it photographers and artists, how do you think one can keep the memory alive by bringing it forth in a modern way? It's a horrible thing to think of. In a modern, but one has to. In a modern way, so newer generations that will not have the benefit of having Holocaust survivors that you and I know, because we're second generation, because those people sadly will not be alive. How do we maintain that in this day and age?
It's very important to maintain it. Through my image, I portray optimism, hope, and remembrance. And speaking of how to make it more modern in a way, actually nowadays, my son, who is in the 6th grade, I escort him every month with his class in Ramat Aviv Gimel school to meet old age people, Holocaust survivors, and listen to their own personal stories. They document the stories and they learn from it. Afterwards, they go and learn about the Second World War and about Poland and about Germany. I mean, we mustn't forget those Holocaust survivors are getting poorer, weaker, lonelier, and unfortunately lesser and lesser. And this is so important to remember, cherish, and pass it on to the future generations.
Pass it on. And Ido, I'm thinking out loud with you when it comes to the reports that you bring out of the Cantor institution, because if we say that hatred online, that hatred in the digital world is easier today, is it easier? But it's also isn't it easier also to remember? Is there something the institution does to put forth anything and a digital representation to actually help combat the hatred with information?
Yes, and it's well known. It's not a strategy. It's something that we do. Thinking about strategy, something that you do in order to counter something, right. And but it has some. It sounds like something that out of a war or something. But we do it also because what is counter speech? Counter speech is something that you upload from yourself in order to combat hatred. It doesn't mean that you, we do it as well. We lower the levels of hate online with taking down Facebook posts and Twitter posts that are anti-Semitic. They call for murder of Jews. This is things that we see all the time. But we also do positive things. We also do things for commemoration of the Holocaust and raising awareness to a problem. And it is a problem because anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial is not just a Jewish problem. Let's put the things on the table. It's a global problem.
Definitely.
Racism is racism. Anti-Semitism is a manifestation of racism, and it should be combated as all forms of racism.
No, it's all forms of racism. And then when you say that, the things that you do online, not just as a strategy, I agree with you. Strategy is a word that sounds like something out of a,
manual or something,
an annual something, but, give me an example online as something that is done to combat the hate. How can that be done?
I can note the good cooperation that we have with social media companies such as Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. Those social media outlets have become a hub for hatred. And we work with them together in order for them to understand what is anti-Semitism and what should not be on their servers.
What should not be said. What you do not put in a status, for example. I'm simplifying.
Yes. One of the most significant things initiated is the International Holocaust Memorial Day, which also spreads it worldwide and very, very important.
In terms of keeping it alive. And as we conclude also, I think it's images as yours, Karen, that bring it forth to this day and age, be it the young woman's hand, the baby's hand on an old woman's hand, which, as I said, not I don't want to use the word modernize, but make it real today, and keep that memory alive. Karen and Ido, I want to thank you very much for being with us today. As we mentioned, it is Holocaust Remembrance Day, as marked today in Israel, as will be marked in ceremonies around the country. I24 News will be bringing you live reports from those ceremonies, so do stay with us. And now, of course, stay with the channels for an update on the news, and thank you for being with us today.